Why checking your emails is not being productive and what to do instead. Recently, I talked to a client who was a master's student and he was finishing his master's studies. In order to graduate, he was supposed to write a master thesis report. However, instead of working on his report, he wasted a lot of time checking his emails. In today's video, I will be talking about why so many people waste time checking emails, how that's not actually being productive, and what you want to do instead. Hi, I have a PhD in neuroscience, and on the channel Neuroproductivity, we talk about developing healthy habits and achieving our goals using principles of neuroscience. Today's video, we talk about why checking emails is not being productive and what you should do instead. Before we start, I want to ask you, how many times per day do you check your email? I want you to comment down below. Do you think you're checking your emails too much? Now, let's go back to my client. So he was finishing his master's studies. In order to finish his master's studies, he was supposed to write a master thesis report. So master thesis is basically a report where you summarize your work. And in order to graduate, you need to submit that report before a certain deadline. For my client, this was very important to submit before that deadline because otherwise he wouldn't be able to graduate on time. And he needed to graduate on time because he got a scholarship for a PhD program. He wanted to do a PhD in artificial intelligence and he really wanted to do this particular program that was really competitive. It was really hard to get in, so the chances were really small. He managed to get in, but in order to be accepted and in order to start this PhD program, he absolutely had to finish his master's on time. So he absolutely had to write this thesis report and submit it before the deadline. So what was his case? If he wouldn't submit his master thesis report before the deadline, he wouldn't be able to graduate on time. Without graduating on time, he wouldn't be able to start his PhD program. He would be kicked out. If he would be kicked out of this highly competitive and great PhD program, he was basically risking to ruin his career in artificial intelligence. Because for him, it was important to complete this PhD program in order to land his dream job. So I think you got it. He really needed to write this master thesis, otherwise he was risking ruin his career. However, whenever it was time to write his PhD thesis, to work on his report, he would start checking emails. He would go and quickly check his emails, but then he would end up, first of all, wasting a lot of time. And second of all, he would get distracted. So once he would enter his Gmail, he would start reading emails, then it was very difficult to go back to the writing. And this is a common problem that people make because they think checking emails is actually being productive. When people scroll on social media, many people know that it's a waste of time and that they should be doing some more important work instead. However, with emails, it's a bit more tricky because emails are a professional communication tool, so we use it for work, and that is why when people check emails, they don't feel bad about that. They think they're being productive, although they're actually not. For most of the people, including my client, including myself, it's enough to check emails once or twice per day. Only people, their job is to reply to emails, they need to be checking emails all the time. For most of other people, checking emails once or twice is more than enough. My client was checking emails way more often. He thinks at least 10 times per day. And that was definitely not needed for him because most of his emails were spam and promotion. And he would only get an important email once per day or once every other day. But none of the emails were urgent. So he really didn't need to spend so much time and check his emails so often. But it's tricky for him and for other people that checking emails gives us false sense of productivity. We think we are being productive, but what is actually happening? We are wasting a lot of time instead of working on important projects. He thought that he was being productive, his brain was happy for him doing some important work, but actually that work was not the most important thing because he was checking his emails too much, he was not doing enough work for his master thesis report, and he was risking to ruin his career. And as the deadline was approaching, he contacted me because he needed to solve this problem as soon as possible. But before I explain how we solved my client's problem, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel because first of all, it would mean a lot to me. Your support means a lot. And second of all, to get updates on my new videos, because I'm going to talk a lot on my channel on why we waste time on irrelevant tasks instead of working on our important projects and how to solve this problem. So let's go back to my client. This is what I told him to solve his problem. Because for him it was more than enough to check his emails once or twice, I told him to set a website blocker that would block his Gmail account from 9 to 6, because he was usually working on his thesis from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I told him to set this blocker, and then every time he would try to go to Gmail, he was not able to do it because the website blocker would tell him, no, you cannot check your emails now, you need to work. And this is one of the techniques that I was using a lot also when checking emails, and I was using a website blocker called Focus. So this is not sponsored, I just really like their app, so you can check it out. And in that way, he clearly split the time from 9 to 6. It's time to work. I cannot check my emails. Also, the website blocker would remind him, hey, this website is blocked. And this was a good signal to his brain. No, you are not going to check your emails. Go back to working on your thesis. And you can use this also for some other, not only for emails, but you can also use to block Facebook, to block Instagram, to block TikTok on your computer. I think there are also some website blockers for the phone. I cannot recommend you any because I haven't tried it yet myself, but this Focus website blocker works perfectly fine. And this is what my client did, and this really helped him. So he was checking emails before 9 a.m. and after 6 p.m. But in between 9 and 6, he would focus on writing his thesis. And guess what? Checking emails before 9 and after 6 was more than enough, because anyways he was not getting many emails. Most of the emails were spam, so he didn't miss anything. So he was still checking his emails, but he made sure to separate, time for checking emails and time for working. And consequently, he managed to write his thesis, he submitted the report, and in September he's going to start his PhD program. And if you're somebody who is struggling to work because you keep checking your emails, wasting time on checking your emails, but instead of that, you want to work on important projects, you want to work on your master thesis, you want to work on your business, you want to work on a project at work, but instead of that, you're wasting too much time on checking your emails, and you are serious about changing that, so you really want to tackle this problem, you might be a good candidate for my program Neuroproductivity. In the program, we are going to use neuroscience-based techniques that can help you become more productive. You can schedule a discovery call for the program to see whether I could help you. So the discovery call works like this. We talk one-on-one for 30 minutes. You tell me what are some goals you would like to achieve and what is stopping you from achieving those goals. And I will tell you whether neuroscience-based techniques could help you resolve this problem and how we could proceed. To schedule a discovery call, you just need to click on the link in the description. You click on that link, you schedule a 30-minute call, we talk one-on-one, and we see whether you're a good fit for the program Neuroproductivity. This call is for free, so make sure to use this opportunity to finally, by using neuroscience, manage to stop wasting time on irrelevant tasks such as checking emails and be productive, be really productive. Not have the false sense of productivity, but be actually productive. So to summarize this video, many people think that checking emails is being productive because emails is a professional communication tool. So when they check their emails, they feel productive, although they're actually not, because most of the people don't need to check emails all the time, and checking emails is just a waste of time that you could use actually to work on an important goals for you. In order to prevent that, you can use website blockers that are going to block your email when it's time to work. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like it if you like the video, and stay tuned to my channel to see new upcoming videos that I'm preparing for you. Thank you for watching, and make sure to stay neuroproductive.